and thank you for being so patient. We apologize for being a bit late. We had a mix up on time zones, as I said in the messaging. It happens to the best of us. So, Carina, thank you for adjusting really quickly and showing up for us here.
Thanks for waiting for me, you guys.
It's no problem. It happens to all of us, I think, with time zones and that kind of thing. So welcome to day 2 of our summit. We are so excited to have Carina, who's been with us before, and we're going to chat about her very cool project that she's doing. But in interest of time, we're going to do a really quick call out to our event sponsors and thank Karen. I'll get it in my head one of these days, Tracy.
Karen Bernison, KB Riley, and then our lovely sponsor of the day is Riley and Company.
Yes, so we want to thank you. We did a session early for Riley and Company, and KB Riley was yesterday, and so we want to thank them very much for sponsoring, as well as thanking all of our speakers like Carina, who can come in, not only doing their great videos, but coming and doing the Q&As with us as well. So we're really excited to chat with Carina, who's like just kind of jumped in here, so it's all good. Carina, can you tell people a little bit where you are in the world and what you do?
So I actually am in Sandy, Utah at the moment. I've lived here for the last 12, 13 years. I can't even remember at this point. Before that, I was in Minnesota. That's where I got my master's and my doctorate. And I'm actually originally from Tennessee. So I grew up in Tennessee and called that home for my first 18 years of life. So yeah, just super excited to be here. I've been in Utah and I love Utah. This is really where we've raised our 3 kids and have a husband and 2 cats and a dog. So, all the things.
And what got you started in the design crafting business?
So ironically, like crafting came way, 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 way after the fact. But my undergraduate degree is actually in communications marketing, and I wanted to get into advertising. And one of the things I really figured out is that the person who really controlled everything when it came to an advertisement was the graphic designer, because they can control the colors and the mood and the feeling and where the copy was placed and the hierarchy of things. And I really decided to go do a master's degree literally to become a great advertiser, to get into the advertising world. And what I found was that design was way, way better than advertising. I loved being a designer. Like actually doing design work was incredibly fun for me. So I did my master's and my PhD in design and then started my design business. At the time, I was adjunct faculty at the University of Minnesota and teaching there. And then I decided that I really wanted to stay home with my kids. But I knew in order to do that, especially back then, now there's like lots of virtual jobs that didn't really exist back then. I decided I would try my hand at designing online. And so that kind of got me into it. One of my friends told me about digital scrapbooking, which kind of led me into scrapbooking and led me into fabric. And over the years, just a little bit of my background, I ended up so I designed for My Mind's Eye, really great company, designed fabric for Northcott in those early years, then became the creative director at Cartabella, which Cartabella is the sister company to Echo Park. So they actually built that company around me. And I was the creative director there for many years and ran a big team there. And then became a fabric designer for Riley Blake, and I'm a designer for Silhouette. And actually, Silhouette was at my house yesterday. So they were doing a huge live at my house. So that's kind of my background in design. Now I teach design programs and I own a university. And I say that and people are like a real university? Yes, we do master's degree programs. So we're more of we're graduate level teaching design business. And then we do have a design certificate. So.
Awesome, multitasking, amazing person. So congratulations. I know, and somebody just wrote they're going between your summit and our summit. And I'm a guest on your summit today and you're a guest on my summit today. So there you go.
I know. You guys go watch Heather's interview with me. It's like freaking gold. Heather is brilliant.
Thank you. Yeah, if you're looking to do a business. So your summit has a slant of crafting and business to it, and ours is 100% crafting. So there's a slightly different slant. But yeah, there's lots of stuff going on this multitasking this week. Yeah. I think there's so much great content out for crafters at the moment that it's great to do. So give us a little bit about your project that you did for this, because it's very cool. It's exciting. I know it's one of your loves, so go ahead.
Yeah. I do love scrapbooking, but scrapbooking has had to evolve for me because of just time and space and all of that. So I really love mini albums, and I like that they're a little insight into that little era of your life. And so that's why I like the 25 days of Christmas. I think Christmas is a time where I get a real snapshot of how we are as a family. So I've probably done this every other year or so. And we keep them downstairs in our basement. And anyway, my kids love them. And so I made all these albums so that people could also, make them for my silhouette store. And you guys hear it with me now. And what I'll do is I'll put together the base together. And then it has 25 days in it. And I will go ahead, and sometimes I don't even do a ton of decoration in it. I'll just have a mat and some writing. So I'll have some journaling in it with a photo. I really like using a selfie printer. Do you guys know what that is? I actually have it here and I can show it to you.
A Canon one that you have, or
I was going to say, Tracy probably knows what it is.
Yeah, like one of these little selfie printers. So I find that I really stink at sending photos in to actually get printed. I use the persnickety box for my monthly photos. So that's how I deal with the scrapbooking piece on this side. But so that's why I like these snapshots of our lives, like our family's lives. So the album's a nice way to do that, but I know I'm not going to go and print it out. So instead, during the entire month of December, I have this sitting on my desk, and I just choose a snapshot from the previous day and I print it off immediately and glue it in, because otherwise it won't happen, right? Like it's, like when you go on a trip and you come home and you're like thinking you're going to make an album of your photos and it doesn't happen. That's me and doing like a Christmas album. I think that the best thing to do is to build it as you go, because then you're done. 25 days are done and you're actually done with it.
It's a brilliant idea, actually, especially if you've got young kids. I mean, different if you don't have kids in the house, but with young kids and all the stuff going on, mind you, you can do it for yourself, Tracy would tell me. But that's actually a really cool idea, to just make it as you go.
Yeah. I'm a big proponent of making as you go in general, because I think most of us have really big ideas and good plans for what we want to do. We have good intentions, but actually sitting down and finding the time to craft the way we want to is very difficult. Mm-hmm. I can usually find 5 minutes to print off a photo and glue it in. It's much harder for me to find 2 or 3 hours to build an entire album or work on something.
No, and it's great. Has anybody tried anything like that? If you're in the comments, or what do you think of Carina's idea? Is it going to inspire you to create a mini album? It could be, because you could do it around anything, really, right?
Yeah. I mean, like we've got our setup as 25 days of Christmas, but literally you guys can use that same template for any month, or you could even set it up, like take away the 5 and do 2 pictures every single month. That's another thing you could do. So it's 24 days. So it'd be the 12 months of the year, and you can just do 2. It's called a selfie printer, and it's spelled, this is why it's like so funny, SELPHY. And I have a black one and a white one. I think they run about, I want to say $250. Go look for Black Friday sales or Amazon. But I have 2 of these, and I just pull them out at certain times of year and I just print. They're really, really great.
Do you want to know something interesting about a selfie printer? What you have to be careful of? Because they're great, don't get me wrong. But if you're at a crop and there's several people that will have a printer, I've heard it yeah, you know what I'm going to say, where people, so you're printing off, a picture of your dog, okay? And they'll go off with somebody else's printer in the same room.
Yeah, because it's connecting to your little Bluetooth on your phone. And so I like, the moment you said that, Tracy, I was like, oh my gosh, I could totally see that happening. Like if there were like 5 in the room, you could accidentally connect to somebody else's selfie printer.
It happens. I swear. I've heard people going, who's printing right now? Because it's here. So I'm like, wow, watch what you print in public is all I'm going to say. Okay. That's all.
Good advice.
But they're great.
Like that. Yeah. It's always those things. Someone wants to create the album and give to their daughter to add her photos on my grand. Oh, that's a great one. Actually, that's a really good Thanksgiving gift for you guys, or a pre-Christmas gift. It's like give it to somebody and then they can create it for themselves. That's a great idea.
Yeah,
Great
I
idea,
love
Cheryl.
that. You know, the other thing, if you guys have those little cute Polaroid cameras, we have 3 in our house. That's another way to do it on the daily. I'm a proponent of like, I love sitting down and doing my scrapbooking. But anytime I do it, you know, by the time I put out all my stuff and I do it all ready to go, it's like 3 hours later. So if you don't feel like you have a lot of time, I think this 5 to 10 minute method is just a nice way to like get it together, you know, get it in.
Makes sense. Tracy, Tracy does printers as well. So are there other brands than that one, or is that the main brand?
Yeah, Canon is the big one I find, and then there's Epson had some smaller ones as well like that. I think they're the main two.
Mm-hmm.
There might be actually there is, I can't remember, there was like this brand somebody said to me once, and I went, "What?" So there's like, I don't know, they're not the common names that we know out there, but yes, there's definitely another one out there.
So Darlene said that she used to do the smaller ones, but she likes doing the larger ones because it's more space for pictures. So
Yeah.
and that's the kind of cool part about paper crafting. You can like the small ones, you can like the big ones, right? You can make different sizes. What size was yours? I can't remember in the video. It was
It is, well, I think it's a 5x7 or 8x7. I can't even remember. 8x5. It's meant to fit a 6x4 photo really easily. So of course I can't remember. And of course I cleaned my office yesterday because Silhouette came, because it was literally sitting on my desk yesterday. And I could just be like, let's just measure it here and see. I actually think it's just right over there. I'm like, do I dare run over there and see if I can find it?
You're allowed.
I was gonna say, so I'm actually super curious in the chat. Would you guys tell us if you guys are more traditional Christmas? Do you like red and green Christmas, or are you like pink and colorful Christmas? I would love to hear that in the chat. And then I'm gonna see if I can go grab the album.
go for it.
Okay.
And see in the chat what you're doing.
Hmm.
Her office is so nice and neat. So there you go.
I was gonna be saying, I love the big dresser there. Anyway,
there you go.
Yeah, it's so cute.
Like, do I have a measuring tape or anything?
It looks like it's kind of that half-size journal size. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, I want to say 9x6, maybe. This is 9x6. This book is 9x6. Do you like, I'm like going to use, oh yeah, it's for sure 6. It's 8x6. That's exactly what it is. It's an 8x6. And just so you guys know, like, I mean, if you watch the video, I did this with vinyl. And so the nice thing is you don't have to do this on it. You can do whatever silhouette thing. If you're an artist, like those of you who are junk journalers or media artists, you literally can do some kind of fun, beautiful top and just use this for a different album, right? You can do 24 days. You could do 10 days. You could break it up the way you wanted to. It's set up in 5 increments. So I've seen people do a lot of things with just this base journal, which is really nice because you can do a lot with it. So
yeah, it doesn't even have to be Christmas, really. It could be anything, like you said.
Yeah.
And you could paint and hand paint.
It could be like the different, grades, your kids' grades or something. Like, they're in grade 1, grade 2, like, there's so many things you can put in there. So many things.
So someone asked, how many photos do you put on in your pages?
Only one. I only ever fit one because I have the selfie printer. So it will only fit one really, really nicely here for me. And then I like to journal on the other page. But I do know of people who will do, so like this is their day 3 and they'll do both sides. Like, so they'll do 2 pictures because they'll do like a full layout. I don't, but it's just because I like to journal. I like to write out what's going on.
Do you ever decorate it, or do you just put the photo and go?
Oh, yeah, super decorated. So like usually, in fact, if you go to my Instagram feed in a couple of weeks or so, I might even show it sooner than that. I show one of these that I did probably 2 or 3 years ago. And I will not decorate day by day. I decorate it before. So I decorate the entire thing before. So I go ahead and do all the layouts and stuff so that all I have to do is glue in the photo every single day. Yeah. Okay. So it's like a pre-made album. I can't do it day by day, guys. Like you guys that have time to do this, like I'm like in love with you and I need your life. Like maybe we can trade. You can teach at the university and I will come scrapbook for you.
There you go. That's a fun teaching change. So
yeah. So I like to pre-make. If you're someone who wants that little bit of creativity every day, then do your layouts every single day. I mean, they're fun.
So answers to your question, we have traditional or random, not pink. Red, green for me, even if it's maroon and pine. Debbie asks, how do you keep your office clean?
So you have Silhouette come to your house to do a live with a bunch of designers.
There you go.
That's how it got clean. It's so funny. I mean, I'm not here to talk about this, but this office you guys are seeing me in, as you kind of see me on social media and on courses and whatever else, summits, we are in the middle of building. And if you want to see my Instagram feed, we're building what we're calling the barn in my backyard. And the barn is my new office. So you are going to see it will be really clean because there are going to be no kids running through it at all. Because it will have like a YouTube studio, we're going to have a segment called Dishing the Tea Studio. There's like a crafting space. There's a podcast space. So it's that'll be very, very clean. But here's also the deal, you guys are only seeing this. Like my floor could be a hot mess.
Yes.
Hot mess. You wouldn't even know it.
That is what I've seen with lots of people. They have hot messes. It's funny, when we were trying to create our circle, which is like our membership, we were trying to get a background of a nice crafting room, and we couldn't find one in any stock photography, in any, no, nobody, it's not important enough. I think, well, it is. There's such a big world of crafters, and yet we couldn't find anything in stock photography. So.
Those of you looking for a big business, it sounds like some mock photography set up for crafting.
But it's such a big world. I was surprised we couldn't find anything at all. All colors of Christmas. I like the non-traditional or burgundy and gold. I like both. Christmas is great in any color. Colorful, I like lots of tradition. Oh, I could draw that onto the books. I love these tabs. So she was looking at your tabs. Burgundy and gold. And then what's this one? Oh my God, that would be perfect for each grade a year. Put pockets, and then they could put on their own sets and active report cards and certificates. It'd be very good for that.
That's cute.
Actually, that's a really good Christmas present for a parent.
Oh my gosh, that's so true. How fun would that be also as maybe a grandparent to do for your grandkids?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yes, you could do. And I was thinking earlier too, like you said, grandparent or whatnot, for their, the baby's like first step, first word, first everything, like boom, boom. Again, there's so many things, or first months, right? There's so much you could do with it.
Because you could make it without 24 pages. You could just do 12.
Yes, right. And then the other thing you could do is not even put in the numbers, right? So I've given you these circles, but you could take a circle die cut and you could actually use a photo here instead if you wanted to. So that might be fun, especially, oh my gosh, how great would this be for a grandparent if you went and did that with like a picture here of every single grandkid? Oh my God.
Good idea.
And then like a little, you could literally, oh my gosh, I am so doing this year for my mother-in-law. She would love this. And then go to every grandkid and have them put in pictures of themselves and write a note to their grandparent on it.
Or do a drawing or something. Yeah.
Oh, I'm so taking that idea. I was just in, my mother-in-law speaks French and is amazing. And I was just in La Petite Maisonnerie, which is here in Draper. And it's just like this gorgeous French antique store. And I was looking for stuff and I was like, I can't find anything. I think she would like that better. It's so much more meaningful.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean, you can even put extra pages for each child, right? It doesn't have to just be one.
Yeah, she'd open it, she would cry, but in a very good way, right? Like the good tears. Oh, yeah.
There you go. You've just created a new idea based on your idea.
It's because of you guys here. I wouldn't have thought of that on my own.
But that kind of goes with what we were just saying earlier today with Cindy. Like, we all learn from each other and give each other ideas, right? It's amazing, I find. Yeah.
So somebody's doing that for each month of a child's first year or two. Oh, sorry, it skipped lines on me here. And that's what I'm doing for my sister that's about to be a grandmother for the first time. Yeah, it's a great idea. Yeah. But it's it's kind of neat, the idea of giving something for somebody to fill in that's easy for them to fill in if they're not a crafter. Right? They can just like stick the pictures in or do that kind of thing.
And if ever, they're like, you go, they're not filling it in. Don't worry. I've taken the pictures. Here, put that on that page, right? After you've given them the album, you say, you sent me your daughters or, your sons, whatever, first steps. Well, I developed it for you. I printed it out. Here you go. That goes on that page.
Yeah,
fun
I
idea.
love
Right?
that.
Just do it.
Yeah, got me thinking this. I don't have a Cricut, but that's okay. Tracy has one on a shelf somewhere.
That's perfect. How many of you guys did my project with a Cricut machine? You should have been able to do it. It's like meant to be set up on a Cricut Silhouette, on a Brother Scan and Cut, or a any of those things. So
Baby shower gift. We're moving into new things here. Baby shower gift.
Yeah.
Could be anything. I mean, it's a cool idea and easy to do, and you don't need a special thing.
it really is rather basic, right? That's the whole goal of it. I personally love things that are pretty simple that you can do a lot with. And then, the part that most people who buy it from my Silhouette store, they're buying it for the front image, right? Because they want to cut that image.
Yes.
But you'll notice that this particular album is in there probably 10 times with a different front cover on it, right? Because people are buying it. They want the album, but they want the front cover.
Yeah, Debbie's saying, I think I
and
need
it's
to make
beautiful.
this. Yeah. This could be fun because you don't even need to have. Could someone, because you've come up with a great concept. If somebody didn't have a cutting machine, how could they make the same concept?
Totally. Don't you think the easiest thing would be, so those of you who don't have this is an 8x6 situation, but literally I think like you could find a standard scrapbook size, or you could just do like a huge cut, right, through a huge stack of letter size papers, cut it down to either 9x6 or an 8x6. I think those are really great sizes. Mm-hmm. And then if I were you, you could take a die cut, like a circle die cut. I have several of those. I'm sure Tracy sells a gazillion of these, right? Like the die cuts. You do a circle die cut and just create the tabs, right? Mm-hmm. Just glue them into place and you would be fine. This is very elegant in that when you cut it on a Silhouette machine or whatever, it's like that little beautiful die cut, sticking out. But you don't have to do it like that. It's already homemade. It's okay to do a die cut and just glue it in place as a tab.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah, for sure you can do that. Like there, I see a chipboard album being made. Like again, there's so much. I'm just kind of curious too, with because it's on the front where you said that was done in vinyl, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I'm just, because people will start asking me this stuff. What adhesive is best for the vinyl on whether that's a chipboard album or like your paper?
I don't have like a specific vinyl that I use. I use whatever I have lying around. So, definitely you're not doing heat transfer, right? This is just permanent vinyl. So anything that says permanent vinyl on it is going to be good. I would do it based on color. Like if you go to a Hobby Lobby or a Michael's, those are great. Amazon's great. Tracy, do you sell vinyl as well?
I honestly, I have access. I don't get the best pricing, and because again, all the big stores are carrying it, so it's like you guys have it.
Yeah. So for me, vinyl is really about, do you want it glossy or do you want it matte? Those are really that's like the first thing I'm looking at is, so you can see these are kind of glossy. See how it like goes like this? So this is my glossy.
Shine when you do it.
So it's got a shine on it, right? But like I did this huge trio stacked Nutcracker set that's currently in my and I might even take you guys in there. I have to pick up my computer and take you in there. But if you want me, I'll show it to you guys. And it's all done in vinyl. And it's done on cardboard. And I chose a matte for that because it made more sense for the type of project it was. Do you guys want me to take you in there? Tell me in the chat if you want. I will take you on a hilarious ride on my computer into my living room because the pink Christmas tree is up and everything for this.
Well, there you go.
Pink Christmas tree, everything. Somebody just said making a laminated cover and maybe a recipe book.
Oh, that's such a great idea.
True. Very true.
I love it. I love it. So good.
And that's a very popular Christmas gift. And very well loved. So yes. Yeah.
But it's like your grandmother's favorite recipes or your favorite recipes. But it can show you how something as simple as what you've put together there just prompted a whole bunch of ideas of what people could make with it.
Yeah.
Which is very cool. Somebody wants
I like
it.
You guys are ready? You guys want me to take you on the sneak peek?
Sure.
So yesterday, if you go to my Instagram page, you will see, and my audio might change here just for a second. But yesterday we did a live for Silhouette in my living room. So we had everything set up for them. And then one of my designers just got into the silhouette store. So she was teaching something and she'd come up for the day. And so I just had to make sure that like everything was up. And this Christmas, every year I do a different theme. And so this year is Nutcracker Christmas. So here we go. The audio might change for a second, but here, we'll see.
Yeah. No, we still have you.
Okay, good. All right, here we go. You guys are going on a tour in my house. Here we go.
There you go.
Just see. I'm like walking.
Christmas already.
Yeah. This is from Michael's, by the way, like the start of this Christmas stuff.
There you go.
Got some lighting.
Oh my goodness, you got Nutcracker like made. Do you guys make those?
Yeah, so these are vinyl. And here's the thing. I'm going to have to put you guys up somewhere here. This is my most popular thing I did. This is an ultimate gingerbread house done on a Silhouette or Cricut machine. I did it with the Pro. But if you want to look at these are all done in vinyl as well. So they're set up on boxes so you can break them down at Christmas time, you know, when you're not doing it. And you can also, if you have kids, they like playing with them, right? Because they can
different face on a different body.
Yeah, that is so cool.
And then we have the Nutcracker set over here because we have two of them. So we have the Nutcracker. Sorry, I'm not like quite far enough back for you guys to see that well. But the Nutcracker set with the Rat King and one of the soldiers.
That's amazing. That's a really cool. That's such a great idea.
Neat.
So I own this other company that we haven't been doing physical products, just digital for a while, called Mini Lou. And we did paper dolls like this. So we had several kid projects that were super fun like that. And we had a really good time with them. So this is kind of translated for the Silhouette and the Cricut stores in real life.
That's such a fabulous idea for like a kid. When you have young kids, they can play with it. They're not going to break the boxes.
Yeah.
Well, they might, but it doesn't matter if they break the box.
It really doesn't, does it? Right. The full YouTube video of it is up in my on my channel at youtube.com/Carina Gardner. So if you're wondering how I put those together.
This one's for you, Tracy. She said, I need to make cats. To make my cats those, so it would be fantastic for them to fancy up your craft space and your cats could play with them.
Yeah. They would love to play in them.
That is so creative. And what I love about the things you're sharing is they're not super complicated.
They aren't. You know, people always think
the gingerbread house was probably super
complicated. Okay, yeah. The gingerbread house is its own craziness. Like if you like the craziness, I sometimes like the craziness, but like a lot of the stuff I'm doing these days, I really don't have time to do really big, crazy stuff. So I'm trying to think about like, how could I do this really fast? And one of the things I like about vinyl is it's basically a sticker in a single color, right? So it's just a sticker in a single color, which is why I liked it for this album that I did, because it just made a lot of sense, right? Like instead of having to glue all these tiny pieces down, it was just laying down a sticker and it's ready to go. I'm glad you guys love the pink tree. I will have a reel about it probably in the next couple of weeks coming up. If you want to go over there, my Instagram feed has like it has a red and white tree that we did the previous year. And then it has a Harry Potter tree that we did last year.
Oh my God, my friend would die for that. Sorry.
It's really, really, really fun. So yeah, last year was our Harry Potter year. So it was, anyway.
You are committed to do that much work every year.
Gee.
You are committed, as somebody said, amazing projects and decorations. Love the boxes. I love the box idea too, because that's so, especially if you have boxes, you can use boxes. You could have done boxes of different sizes. There's lots of things you can play with.
Yeah, like I'm thinking, okay, where Susan wrote about the boxes with the cats, for the cats, you can have like, you know, do a cat, not their whole face, but like print it out so the face is cut out, right? So when the cats look out, and then you've got like their tops with the hat on. You know, I could just see all the pictures, and then you could scrapbook it all. And
anyway. You've stimulated our creative juices today.
I love it.
Which is good. Does anybody have any questions for Carina specifically about some of her designs? Like she says, she works with Silhouette. Any questions there? Just if you do, because she's been sharing amazing ideas.
I do. Someone was saying they're going to do this on their Cricut machine. That I think that's great. I mean, that's a great thing about die cutting machines. It's just a die line, right? So just getting a nice, fast, quick cut. This is a quick project, by the way, especially if you don't do crazy things on the front cover. The actual cutting of the album doesn't take that long. So it's really, really nice.
Well, and something you can take and do what you want. Like we've had so many great ideas with it. Totally off topic. I love your mini tour of the Japanese restrooms. Okay.
That's on YouTube. Did you watch that on YouTube or did I do that on Instagram?
It's completely off topic, but that's okay.
I do have to tell you guys. So like, this is so funny because yesterday I just found out I'm going back to Japan next year. And so when we went to Japan, it was a total and complete utter surprise. I was like, man, I thought America's pretty awesome. I was like, America could get it right from the Japanese when it comes to bathrooms. Every bathroom is a bidet. Every bathroom is extremely clean. Everyone has like really fun, like woman and man signs on it. Everyone is very child friendly. There's like something in there so that kids like can sit in or like itch, and almost all of them are beautifully decorated, like with beautiful wallpaper or molding or whatever. It was insane. I mean, just general restrooms. I was like, I thought, oh, we're staying at hotels. This must be the hotel thing. No. It's all over Japan.
Wow.
Yeah, even in Europe, bathrooms are better than here. Sometimes I think we are not the best at bathrooms.
Yeah.
In North America.
My newsletter. Yeah, Susan So's in my newsletter. That's so fun.
That's fun. It is. But it is, I think when you're a creative mind and a designer, you look at things differently, right? You look at going, oh, we could do this or we could do that. So that would be great. Any other topics or comments? Carina offered as a VIP in our VIP, she has a private podcast and she offered 2 months free of the private podcast.
Yeah, I can't remember. If you have a chance, you guys, because you can cancel it, of course, as soon as like your subscription, the free period is up. I cannot recommend enough if you've ever thought about design business, or if you just have ever really wanted to know about my life. It happens on the Design Your Life podcast. And I really dig into what I'm thinking about, what I'm seeing out there. I really go through economy. I go through design trends. Right now, I kind of had a health crisis, and I talk about that in the books I read. I talk very often about books I've read. And then, what the funnest thing we have on the Design Your Life podcast, if you guys listen to, I have a free podcast called Make and Design. It's great. It's fun. But on the Design Your Life podcast, it's all about like the gossip behind the scenes, like all the stuff going on. At the very end of every episode, we have something called Coaches Unfiltered. And 2 of the coaches in my program get on and talk about me and talk about what I talk about in the podcast. So it's like their inside scoop at the end is pretty fun.
Cool. Somebody asked, do you actually take some downtime?
So funny. I was just talking to my therapist about that yesterday. Yes, when I go to therapy, that's my downtime. The problem with, there's no problem, but the thing with crafting and being in this space is that there's so much joy in it. You guys know, because you like making all the things, right? Like I grabbed this along with, this is a card that just came out in my store this week. This is a card I was showing my die cut designers in my university. Here's one that just came. I mean, it's like all this fun stuff that I'm making. And so do you count this as work time or do you count this as play time? Is this my hobby or is it work?
Well, isn't that the best place to be when your work is your play? Like, I mean, honestly, I think we get this kind of bad concept. If work is your play, then isn't that the best place to be?
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. Downtime cutting on my machine, making stuff. So I have a lot of things, but I also like to remind people I have a team, right? Mm-hmm. So you can't own a university without having a team. You can't own a huge design program like I do. Design Suites, our design program, without having a team. You have to have people to help you. I couldn't do this by myself. Mm-hmm. So I know it seems like all I do is work all the time, which I do work a lot, but some of it feels like play.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's the fun part about it. I mean, it's when you go into an entrepreneurial role, whether it's in design or not design or what Tracy does, Tracy's hours are weird. Her more busier times are the weekends, right? Because that's when she's going to events and crops and stuff like that. And when we do this, as Carina's doing the summit, it's all in. We have 32 speakers, so it's a lot of work and a lot of website pages and that. But it's also fun because it's easier to put the time into a community that's fun and exciting and fun to work with.
Yeah.
It's true.
I love Becky says that crafting is my therapy. I find that a lot with crafters. I remember that specifically when I was the creative director at Cartabella and we were making so much scrapbook paper, and I would meet with people on scrapbooking floors. You know, that was back when we actually went to shows and stuff. I just remember people were like, this is my life. Like, I love this. This is everything I ever want to do. And I was like, I think that's a really powerful thing.
Yeah. No, Wendy said too, is I have a saying, if you don't get out of bed to go to work to enjoy the day, then consider changing it to something that you might want to get out of bed for, which is right. Yeah. There's a lot of pressure. Tracy and I live in a government town, which is often like they go to work and they know exactly when they're going to retire and all that stuff. And we aren't that and never have been. So either of us have ever really been that. So yeah, it's working outside the box. It kept me sane during my cancer journey. Becky, I'm really glad for that because I think that is.
Keep going. And keep doing everything and having fun.
Yeah. And Debbie's, I try not to be so much work. Yeah. You got to have fun. If we don't have fun, what's the point in all of this stuff? So one of the reasons we do these lives, because a lot of, that's one of the things we incorporated this into our summit, because having these conversations, like if you had just watched Carina's video and gone off and done that, you and Carina came on, you wouldn't have had these same inspirations of now doing cookbooks and baby things and all of the other things that we do. And that's why we do the videos. It takes a lot of time for us to do these Q&As, but that's why we do it, because it just brings a lot more humanity to who the people are and who the speakers are, but it also gives you all these great ideas that you can take off and do something different with. So
yeah, summits are a lot of work. They're a lot of work.
Yes. Ours went down this morning. It's like, it's okay. Site's down. But I just don't go. Then nobody complained. Thank you all. We didn't even get a single complaint that our site was down, and we're like, yay! I fixed it pretty fast. But it's like, yes, that's life, right? That's a lot of work.
Susan, thanks for not telling on me. I really appreciate it. I will say this right now feels like more work than when I just designed full time. So 3.5 years ago was when we started the design program, and this year is when we started the university. And 3.5 years ago, it was me, and it was me designing all the time, me creating projects all the time. And I will say, especially looking back, and granted, that's a little bit, the grass is sometimes greener. I'm like, man, I miss those days, right? Where I was just literally designing and creating all the time. There is a ton of power in feeling like you are just making, because we were born to make. We're born to create, born to make. And so I do miss that part of it. I am creating now, but it's a different kind of creation. So it's just a little bit different.
Yeah, I mean, running a business has stuff that's not always fun. That's just the reality of it, right? When you get into the business, we all have to do things that we don't love. It's just you got to balance it with the love pays off for the things we don't love. Like I'm sure Tracy and you both don't love doing inventory.
Oh gosh.
You don't mind inventory, believe it or not.
You don't mind inventory? No.
I don't mind.
I hate shipping things. That's why I teach we teach digital design. So we're like, do it all online so you never have to ship things, because I hate shipping things.
Yeah.
And I find we attract kind of who we are, right? Like I find that you guys attract this, you guys are so wonderful here. Like this certain demographic of people who love creation and love making and have ideas for albums and cards and all of that. My group tends to be more like they want to work, but they don't want to work in inventory. They don't want to do like traditional things. They want to find their own way and their own freedom. And that's kind of the way I've done my life. Like if someone had told me, hey, Carina, you're going to start a university in a year or even 3 years ago, I would have been like, you're kidding me. I would never do such a crazy thing. Here I am. It's just like you kind of find yourself on this untraditional path and you're okay to see what will happen. And so you just kind of go with it.
I was brought up in a very untraditional path, although I did the traditional path for a while. We all said we would never do the untraditional, and 2 out of 3 of us were entrepreneurs now. But my father was a serial entrepreneur, so he worked until he was 85 and physically couldn't work anymore because he had a maple syrup farm at that time. But so yeah, I have the complete, he was a tradesperson, but many never worked for anybody and never got the pension thought and all this kind of things because that's not how we were brought up. So
Heather, that couldn't be more Canadian. My dad was a maple. Come on.
True. There's not that many maple syrup farmers in Canadian, but definitely true.
But it just feels so cliche. Like, I live in Canada and I'm a maple
My
syrup.
dad was a maple syrup. He retired at 65 and bought a maple syrup farm.
Oh my
So
God.
he had a plumbing contracting business up until then. Ran that most of my life. He started that when I was born, and then he retired and drove my mother crazy for like a year. And mine's like, we got to do something, and bought a maple syrup farm. And maple syrup is actually plumbing because you got to get the liquid from the trees into a place. Like there's a lot of what he did as a living, and he loved it. He went to the market and sold it in the market all the time, and then he just physically couldn't do it anymore. So
yeah, it really does go to show. I think we all have this wonderful idea of what retirement's supposed to look like in our heads, when truthfully, we probably should just be doing whatever we would do in retirement now, like always, just kind of as we're going, because most of us, and I suspect this from all my crafters, all you guys are here, like, you're not going to sit still. You're not going to sit still.
No, there's points to do, and that's why communities are great and that kind of thing. And we run our circle, which is our membership, and a lot of them are retired and they love the community. It's like they don't have crops locally anymore. They don't have events, or they can't physically go to them for whatever reason. And that's the power of the online world that we've been able to do now, that we can bring people together and do stuff like that.
Heather, what's the name of your guys' circle group that you guys
do?
It's
the Scrapbooking Fun Circle. So we keep it. It's we do one live event per week. We have guest speakers once a month. So we have somebody come in and talk about a project once a month, and then we have a theme per month. So like this month is paws and purrs. Sometimes our themes are use your scraps or use your punches. Our speaker actually this month is someone who's coming from inside our circle, and she's going to be talking all about cutting machines.
Oh my gosh.
She has a silhouette. She has a Cricut. She may even have a brother scan and cut. I'm not sure.
She does.
She does. Yeah. So she's going to be answering. And the one last, this is our project. You have to get Shelly to do something. So I don't paper craft, and this is our project. I'll put myself big for a second. That Shelly did. One of our students. So it's closed. What's closed? And then it opens, and you can put all your pictures on the inside, and then it closes up again. So that's one of the things that we do in our circle. So we've had a lot of really mixed stuff in it. So it's a lot of fun. So that's what we're doing. Thank you so much, Carina. We have another call in 10 minutes, so we have to go. We're with Pam and Tim. Thank you so much for jumping in with the mixed up time. So
I'm so sorry that I was late.
Okay.
Our times were mixed up, but I was glad it worked out perfectly for me to hop in. You guys are so wonderful. I love all your chats, and I love Karen saying I'm retired and I always have something to do.
That's the type of person that we need to be, right? I just cannot imagine being retired and sitting in front of a TV. It just does not suit me. It just doesn't suit me. So thank you so much. We are back with Pam, I believe, next. Yes, is it Pam next, Tracy?
Yeah, sorry, I was just having my little
popping
fit story.
Cool, and the whole thing about using things, Pam did a really cool one of making a Valentine's Day card using Christmas and Thanksgiving dies and stuff. So we're going to talk about that next. Thank you Thank you so much, Carina. Happy holidays. You're getting messages.
Thank you.
Good luck with your summit. And we will chat with you later, everybody. We'll be back.
Bye, guys.
Thank you very